What's up, world? This is Levi Craig with another watercolor chaos video, another speed paint of Darth Vader and Boba Fett. This one was a lot of fun to plan out. I jumped right into it by creating this explosion behind what's going to be Darth Vader's head. I wanted it to be kind of cooler, spacey-ish, so I went for a light green, which is really hard to work with. You got to be very careful with that light green because it can turn icky fast. It's not like, you know, a lot of other paints, so I was really careful with that. Now I'm working with the highlights on his helmet. Darth Vader's it's all black, but it's glossy, and I wanted to play around with this idea that he's a conflicted character. So he's got like a, he's not quite all bad. I mean, he's somebody who's gone through a lot of trouble in his life, and he's conflicted. So I put this dark red in the middle of it to create kind of like an inner glow. And I thought it would tie in really nicely with a dark purple that I wanted to put on the majority of the helmet to create that contrast that is Darth Vader. He's a very dark character. It's hard to escape that constraint. I mean, his archetype is darkness, the dark side and all that. I get tied up with that anyway. I love the symbology with colors a little bit. I understand it fully. I've got a lot more to learn as an artist, but I love playing around with color as an archetype or as a symbol, something that communicates more than what it seems or what it looks like. That's a big theme in a lot of my work is energy. I love it to look like an explosion of excitement, to invigorate people, create something that's fun and interesting and different. Right now I'm kind of tying in with some of the last touches with that contrast, and I'm hitting the background again with that explosion effect. Once again, that light green is really touchy to work with. You really want to be careful how you use it because I've messed up with it a lot. Let me just say that. You have to, sometimes I touch it with a light bit of yellow to really get it to hit up. I don't think I did it too much. I think I did it on the left-hand side where I used yellow to really make that green louder or brighter, I guess. Speaking of yellow, I'm getting into the Boba Fett lower portion. He's right underneath Darth Vader. This was kind of hard for me to figure out because I wanted to figure out a way to create a good contrast between Boba Fett's green helmet and have a yellow or orange background to really pop out against that green. So I had this idea like, all right, I'll use yellow, transition to orange and red, and then back into purple, which will tie into Darth Vader's body. I wanted it, Darth Vader to be this looming, overbearing character because he's the antagonist of the series. He's, the reason Boba Fett was hired to hunt down Han Solo. Not that, there's a lot of, backstory to all that. But Darth Vader, in the end, is kind of like a puppet master. And it's kind of like what I wanted to go for. I wanted him to, with his pose, wanted him to be overbearing. Somebody who was like overlooking, he's got all his little puppet strings. But anyway, I'm getting in with the details of Boba Fett's helmet. It's kind of hard with watercolors to get all the details in there. I kind of wanted to do the scratching that's so popular for Boba Fett. But in the end, I just decided to really just focus on the colors and the highlight around it. Because for the scratches, I would have to leave the paper negative. Like as in, I couldn't paint on it. It would have to just be white. Unless I wanted to go in with it with the gel pens. But I stick primarily with just the watercolors. And plus the gel pens, I don't know. I've played around with them before, and they've messed up on me. I am not a huge fan of gel pens. I'm sure there's a brand out there that some people will, speak up for, say, hey, this was really good. I'm just going to stick to watercolors right now. I feel like there's so much to learn just from this, medium that I want to figure out before I want to jump into something else. Because I've really discovered some really cool effects just by pushing myself to work with the limits. If you limit yourself to, dealing with what little you have, sometimes you can figure out unique ways of doing things that, no one thought of before. And that's a big thing that I really want to do with my work as an artist. I want to create something that's different than the normal. And, you can kind of see with these colors, I mean, I've got kind of some really cool layering going on with these color schemes. And it creates this wild, crazy firework of a sort, or that I hope is really cool for people to see. I'm playing around with Boba Fett's gun. I suck at hard surfaces. Hard surfaces are really hard to do. It's like, if I was to paint a car, that would be really tough to do. Guns are another thing that I feel are just really hard to do. But I was able to pull that one off pretty well. I was able to get that light tone in first, and then I went back over it with the darker tones. I'm going back over it into Darth Vader's suit again, kind of just layering that dark red and purple, and it stopped on me. But I think I'm going to have to tie it back into this because on my video it stopped. So I'm going to pause and then come right back. Hey, I'm back. So I didn't mean to pause it right there. It was just like my video feed on my end stopped. So anyway, we're pretty much done. I went back in and did some more details on Darth Vader's face. I touched up a little bit, making some more details on his helmet, kind of amping up that contrast. And I feel like this piece came together great. I really hit that idea of, Darth Vader conflicted, and Boba Fett is kind of like this minion of. Please give me feedback, thoughts. I'll try to answer questions when I can. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Please give them a like and a follow.